Hey,
Hey, how's it going?
pretty damn good, dude. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. So, my name is Renee. Thanks, DJ Temple, for joining me today, man. I appreciate it from Band Without Mercy.
Yeah, but Renee, of course, buddy. It's good to meet a new friend, hang out and stuff.
Yeah, you too. Even if we're opposite sides of at least the U.S.
It's where are you from?
I'm from South Texas, Corpus Christi.
Oh, it's my dream to go to Corpus Christi, bro.
Really?
Oh, Texas is the shit, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's hot as hell too.
I love it. I love Texas. Oh, you guys are so badass. I love it.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Man, y'all got some good stuff. To be honest with you, the song Uprooted was the first song that I've heard from y'all, which was just last week, and I was blown away. I was like, holy shit, man, who are these guys? Where the hell did they come from? I wanted to chat with you, to get to know, the basis of what y'all got going on. Which you have a new album, which is Seismic, comes out next month.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, yeah, dude, that album freaking rips, man.
Thanks, man. Did you get a full listen to it or just a couple
Yeah,
tracks there?
yeah, dude, I listen to it like every day. I'm not kidding. That's like what's in my car stereo right now, and it has to be played loud. There's no other way.
Uh, Sweet.
Yeah, but how exciting is it? It seems because I went back and I listened to some of your previous stuff, and it seems like the evolution is you were. It sounds like you were aiming for this sound and where you're at now. Is that a true opinion, or what do you think?
Yeah, in a way, like we do this weird thing, especially with Seismic. It's been a weird. I'm just gonna adjust this so I can look you in the face. I hate that I'm not
Okay,
looking you in the face. I'm weird that way.
that's all right.
It's not how my papa raised me, bro. Okay, there. Uh, we did this weird thing even with Seismic where we like rewrote the album 3 times. We would write it, we went and toured it, we came back, we're like, nah, dude, it doesn't. It's not what we wanted to do. And same with previous albums. We tried to write. Well, personally, me too. Like guitar parts, I write the absolute max I can possibly play. I try and push myself over some hurdle. With Seismic, there's a couple of riffs on Thunderbird that I straight up could not play when I wrote them. And I was like, all right, well, I'll just go after practice, I guess, because I record this thing in a month. And
Right.
with previous releases, there's usually an example or two. And it's just, we're trying to constantly evolve and improve and push ourselves. And then we push each other because we've been together for so long. And we're even recording like, have you ever been to a studio and like push that record button so like you can like talk to somebody and then you take your finger off of it and they can't hear you anymore because of the glass or whatever?
No, but I work in EMS in the fire department. So when we key up on our mics, if somebody's keying up on that mic, nothing's coming through. You got to wait for that other person to finish talking.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, so similar, I guess, except you're way cooler than recording drums. Uh, when we would push the button, I would talk to our drummer Matt, and I would be like, "Dude, like, no, do it again or whatever." And they would take the mic off, just fighting. But the end result is like the opening drum part on that Abysmal track on our record, which is not a single because we wanted to leave that as a surprise for everyone. Like he's doing some insane shit, buddy. Like it's
Yeah,
nuts. And yeah, he never thought he would be able to do stuff like that. And we're pushing each other all the time, all the
yeah.
time.
Well, it sounds like it because every time that I've listened to it, and this is when I got the copy last week, I hear something different every single time from each track.
Cool.
Yeah. And I mean, and everybody, like you're saying, is performing like at top level. I'm like, I mean, to be able to, I mean, once you eventually play it live, I mean, you're all going to be sweating your ass off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have
uh,
moments where we're like, ah, crap, how many songs are left?
right. You're like, can we cut this short?
Pretty neat, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So you do have three singles out, which is the most recent was Disinfect the Soul. And you just only did this with just the vocalist. Whose idea was that for that one?
That one was mine. Uh, we had an idea to do. a vocal playthrough video, but it very, very, very quick. Well, I should say it was mine. It's definitely a combination of Alex coming in with some, like, here was my idea, and then Alex like percolated the idea and came back with these crazy things that made it tenfold better. But like what happened with that one was it just evolved in the moment of shooting it. We knew we were going to shoot Alex against the screen and put the words around him. And like all over the place, kind of like a vocal lyric video, because we're big fans of lyric videos, but we understand they're getting kind of dull. Yeah. So we wanted to do something like that. But then Alex had all these crazy ideas. And then I called my buddy at a gun store and he had a crazier idea. And then the director was like, can you get a shotgun? So I went and got a shotgun, which is weird. But yeah, my favorite has been some of the comments are people like, I don't realize it's 7 minutes long. And when I watch the video, I'm uncomfortable, which is a huge compliment, right? Yeah. And some people are gripping the table the whole time. My wife hadn't seen any of the stuff, so she sees only the final fact, and she's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like gripping onto things. It's a roller coaster, and that's exactly what we want. We want to affect that kind of emotional state.
Yeah. And y'all did that pretty successfully. I mean, by the end of the video, I mean, sure there was different takes, but he was just drenched in sweat, and he seems like he expended like a shit ton of energy doing that.
Yeah, what's messed up is obviously when we shoot a video, there's large PA speakers doing the playback, but Alex was screaming the whole thing the whole time in every take. So we're like Alex comes from a really cool background. One of the first bands Alex was in, they couldn't afford a PA system. So they would just turn down, and Alex would practice his screaming to be loud enough to be heard over their amps. That's how he got his volume.
Oh, yeah.
Which is nuts. I mean, buy a microphone, but no, not Alex.
Yeah. I'm going to do it the hard way.
Yeah, props to you, bro. I would have just bought a microphone. But that's what makes Alex cool, man. He's got these cool little just alterations to life's problems.
Yeah, just adapt and overcome.
Hell yeah.
Now, getting to know you a little bit, how did you, because you have very different styles in the music. I mean, at one even before I read it, I could hear some influences from Pantera for some of the groove. I hear some influences from Meshuggah. You just got different sounds. Like, how did you, or are those influences to kind of help develop your sound? Is this how you wanted it?
Well, at the cliche, there's a cliched answer, which is that we write what we're inspired by or whatever. And I hate that answer. It's partly true. But I think the real thing that came to it was we got really selfish with this record when we were writing it. And we, at some point, we were just like, internal dramas or bad management or whatever you're dealing with, right, as a band. You're like, you know what, screw it. We're going to write a thing that we're stoked of. Maybe this is our last kick at the can. We don't know. So let's write a record that we're freaking stoked of. Yeah. And it came into no, I want to put that weird rhythm Meshuggah-y part right here. But we can't just straight rip off Meshuggah. Let's write our own. But our drummer Healy, his name's Matt, but we call him Healy because nicknames are a thing. Yeah. He's like a Wikipedia of Meshuggah and rhythm stuff and things. And Matt and I have been playing together since day one, so it's been like, yo, Healy, I want to do some weird groovy thing here, and we'll just literally talk and come up with these weird grooves, these weird rhythms, and then what would it sound like if we went like this to that? It's very visceral and raw how we write a track, and we're always trying to get it to this skeleton state where we know how many parts are repeating. Is there guitar solo? Is there no guitar solo? Yada yada. And then once we have all that, we'll perform it, and then we'll go, no, it didn't work. We need to fix this, that, and it just becomes this melting pot of things. There's songs on the record that are straight. Disinfect the Soul, for example. I think that one's 6 years old. It's gone through a dozen changes or something just ridiculous because we were never happy with it. And we were always like, well, if we go see our buddy Renee in Corpus Christi, Texas, he's going to have to spend $15 to come see us at the door. We can't write a half-ass song and perform it willy-nilly. We got to make sure this song is just dope because Renee's good shit, man. We got to hang out with Renee. Yeah. So so we would always have these arguments and these conversations, and like the moment when we leave a show in the band van and we're touring to the next town or the hotel or whatever, it's a really solemn conversation if it wasn't a good set or if somebody heard something. And because we've been together for so long and we're all equally invested, if somebody goes, I have issues, the entire song gets thrown back to the whiteboard and we go back. So
Well, that's an interesting way to approach songs.
100%, because like I don't want to play a song for the next 10 years that I hate. And I can't imagine a singer wants to scream a song for 10 years that they hate. So what don't you like about it? Let's address it now and see if it can be fixed.
Yeah. And that definitely ups the how challenging it, and that you've made it. That's going to keep it interesting for, years to come.
Yeah. I mean, like I listen to some of the tracks now and I'm like, cool. I don't know what we were thinking when we put that part after that part, but it works and it sounds dope. So, all right.
Yeah. One of the other things that I like too is that how you took time in the tracks for the guitar solos to where it's not like just, standard, somebody, you got the riff in the background and you just throw a solo on top of it. You actually took time to where the solo seems like a small part, and which can be by itself.
Yeah, and thank you. That's an amazing thing to say, because I'm a guitar player. So you're basically just making me feel like I can do it again today. So thanks, bro.
Sure thing.
A lot of that is I got to give shout outs to everybody in the band, and it goes back to that four dudes equally invested thing, because we knew when we were setting up to record the record, we knew we wanted guest features. We just never believed Jeff Loomis would say yes. And we certainly didn't think Chris Broderick would say yes. Like, we're talking, these dudes are busy. Why the hell would they give two shits about us?
Yeah.
But on a side note, can I just say, basically, two of a human being? Like, wow.
That's
wow.
great.
What wonderful dudes. But that's nothing else. But when we were writing solos for the record, I would write an idea and I would play it for the guys. And I go, this is my idea. What do you think? Is it just striking the mood? Is it taking away from the song? I'm a huge Dimebag fan, dude. Like, I'm an insane, I got problems. I'm such a Dimebag fan. Like, there should probably be a shrine in my house or something. But like, I remember all the shit he would say about leads. Like, if it takes away from the song, it's not good, man. And if this part follows the wrong section, that's not okay. It's got to always service the song. And our bass player, Ryan's really theory trained, so I would bug him, and he's like, sounds like a wrong note, bro. And I'm like, okay, well, this is the idea I want to do. So he would rewrite rhythms, or he and our drummer, Healy, would go off and rewrite rhythms. And then, like, we would play it live, and Alex would say something to me like, oh, you shit the bed on that one, bro. I don't think it's good or whatever. And then I teach guitar during the day, so I'm one of them music nerd guys. And I wrote a bunch of the stuff and charted it and would send it to Ryan, who would read it and be like, I like the feeling, or I don't like the feeling, or knocked it out of the park. So we did spend a lot of time on the solos and the setups for the solos. There's even shit like we knew the solo was coming. So 6 bars ahead, are we going to do a modulation or a key change? Or are we setting up the feel? Are we going to do a groove change? Are we going to put a random blues jam in this song out of nowhere?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. We just felt like doing a blues jam. And that literally came from me going, it'd be cool. And then we tried it.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny that you do say that about Dimebag, because I remember reading, the guitar columns out of the magazines, and how every solo he tried to do something different. And that's something that I found similar listening to when you did the solos on this album. It almost, not that you're ripping off their sound, but how when they recorded their solos, it was just the bass, the drums, and just the lead. There was no riffing or the guitar in the background, which that's what it reminded me of those albums, those Pantera albums.
Well, we're basically best friends now because you're comparing me positively to Dimebag. So we're just good, man. I see you've been getting my checks.
Yes.
Yeah, like that came from a band conversation of we should maintain this the way that we do it live as well. Because we don't have a second guitar player live. So how am I going to write a guitar part? We did it a little bit when there was the guest solos, because I narcissistically wanted to still be heard. Well, Jeff Loomis was playing something. But yeah, it stems from that. And for sure, I read the same interviews and articles, man, where Dime was like, yeah, just straight bass and guitar. It sounds dope. And it was huge culmination of their sound, right? Huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't do that before them. Yeah, that's not okay. Dimebag's like, screw you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it because it feels good.
Hell yeah! I wrote this riff on the shitter. Hell yeah!
Now you did mention that you got Jeff Loomis and Chris Broderick. How did that come about? Did you just reach out to the guys or to the management, or how did that happen?
Basically, when you stalk someone,
Yeah.
Chris and I have been friends for a few years. He's been an amazing mentor guy. So like I picked his brain a lot about issues and stuff in the industry that I was having problems with, and he was really cool. So I asked him a while ago if he would be a part of it. We just didn't know where he would go. Like we didn't know what song, and I didn't want to like propose a song. So when we sent him the album, it took him like an hour, and he came back. It was like Disinfect the Soul. That's great. I want that one. I'm like, okay, fucking here.
Sure, yeah.
No, you can't
right.
do that one. Like, sure. And I'm sorry about the ambient noise. Gardeners are outside. But dude, he took that track somewhere I never would have thought. Never. You just you go off on a journey. If you just close your eyes and listen to that part, he takes you on some journey, man. It's so ridiculous. And Loomis was just 100,000 text messages and Facebook requests and emails to anything and forums and begging and pleading. And one day I finally got sure, man, sounds good. I'm like, oh my God, really?
The stalking paid off.
Yeah, a little bit. It helps that I look really good naked.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I do this thing where I can like swing my nipples and there's nothing on them. It's impressive.
That I gotta see.
Join my OnlyFans.
Yeah. So you mentioned, of course, Dimebag with, inspiring. Who else, or who was maybe the originator to where you saw them playing music and you're like, I want to do that too?
Pantera, 100%.
Yeah.
Pantera was the moment I clicked into the Matrix. It was 100% the moment. Like there was other bands I liked before. I always tell this weird story, so bear with me. But there was like this. I remember being in high school. I'm a skinny ginger kid with freckles, so life wasn't that great.
Yeah.
And trying to find where I sat, and everyone was like, Metallica this and Black Label Society that. And I was like, well, I guess you listen to these so that you can eat lunch in the cafeteria. And I was listening to Metallica going, these guys are good, but it's just like, it's just noise in the background for me. It's not doing anything for me.
Right.
And the first time my Japanese friend Masa at the time, he busted out a Pantera track. I remember being like, what the fuck is that? And that was it. It was over. That moment, I was like 14. At that moment, it never stopped. And like, I got into Pantera because I was 14, so would that be like 97? I'm like, I heard Becoming was the first Pantera track I ever heard. So that means I'm on Far Beyond Driven, which means I'm 3 albums deep and in the wrong order. So like, as I progressed as a fan and wanted something more and more heavy, then I'm discovering the Great Southern Trendkill. I'm like, there's still more levels to this band?
Yeah.
I remember hearing Shedding Skin where Dimebag does a solo over his own solo. Like, what the fuck? It was just great, man. And then I saw Damage Plan live and I met Dimebag and I like, oh, there's actually there's a picture on my wall here. This blue one is Dimebag playing in Vancouver.
Oh, very cool, man.
Just like, oh, dude. And then I met him and I told him I desperately wanted to start a band. He just looked me dead in the eyes. I was like, well, fucking do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Literally started the band the next day.
Yeah. I met him once before too. It was like a meet and greet at like a record label. They the band showed up and they were signing everybody's shit and stuff. But he treated everybody like they were fucking best friends and you've known each other forever.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. When he was at the Vancouver show, there's like 200 people waiting outside after the gig. It starts to rain. And he's walking up to every single person. Hey, man, how are you? You want a picture? Absolutely. Sign that. I hope you have a killer day. Next one. Hey, man, what's going on, brother? Blah, blah. Tour manager's yelling at him. He's like, we're late. Get on the fucking bus. And I remember, it's so profound now to say it, but I remember him looking at the tour manager going, Seattle will be there tomorrow. These people won't be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Every single, you want a picture? Sure. Can you sign my absolute? Can you leave a voicemail for my friend? Absolutely. Like, he's just, I remember he signed my arm because I didn't have anything. And this is actually a horrible story. This is worse. I didn't have, back then, like, digital cameras were like $1 million, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I was still on the film roll-up cameras. And my buddy Laurie was behind me. And he was taking like all the pictures for me, and I'm like, I'm waiting. And the moment comes, Dimebag's in front of me, and Laurie goes to take the picture, and I'm out of shots.
Oh, shit.
So I have this dope picture of me and Vinnie Paul, which is still sick. And Vinnie Paul did this crazy thing too, where I guess Laurie snapped the photo, and Vinnie was talking to somebody, and I was like, oh, thanks, Vinnie. And he's like, no, that was a shit photo. We're going to do this again. And I'm like, wow, you actually took the time to redo the photo for me.
Yeah.
And then, like, I try and tell all my guitar students and stuff too. Like, the big thing that nobody's realizing is, like, when you want to become a musician, I think we all idolize somebody and we start to emulate something of them. If any of us, you and me and all these people, have these stories of Dime and he's our freaking mentor, how well are we going to treat any fans that we get?
Oh, hell yeah, man. Yeah, for sure.
That's the life lesson.
Yeah, for sure. When they, when Dime passed away, when Benny passed away, everybody's just like, fuck, they were the best. How they treated everybody like family, how they treated the fans like family, and that's what they want to emulate too.
Yeah, that needs to be like Dave Grohl himself is getting known as the nicest guy in like rock and roll. And he said Dimebag pulled him aside at a party. It was like, don't fuck this up. Don't ever be a dick. You're never big enough that you can be a dick.
That's right.
Like, so I've been nice ever since because Dimebag told me to be nice.
Yeah, and that's true, man. And it comes back to you because look at all the diehard fans that they have. I mean, look, we're still talking about fucking Pantera. I mean, we still love them because of how they were, how they treated everybody, and of course their fucking music.
Yeah, let's not discount that son of a bitch could play guitar. Let's not discount that. I mean, even Chris Broderick now says shit like, he's like, I read this article he talked about when he did the Dime Bash, and he's like, I just don't know how this guy wrote this stuff, man. Yeah. He's so dope, buddy. He's so dope.
With a lot of soul, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So besides Pantera, who else would you say is another big influence for you?
Me personally, I mean, I'm a massive Jeff Loomis fan. Nevermore's the reason, Jeff Loomis specifically, obviously, but like Nevermore was the reason I started playing 7-string guitars. I had written 7-string guitars off years ago because I saw Korn, who I still think Korn is dope and they played a good role. But I was like, oh, I guess 7-string is just weird effects playing one string. I'll just down tune my 6 then.
Yeah.
But then I bought, actually, I wonder if I have it. Dude, I think it's like right there. Oh my God. Come on. Oh, I can't get it out. That would have been like the perfect shot. But I have this Guitar World magazine released this DVD of Jeff Loomis giving lessons, and it was called like Extreme Shred or something. And I bought it and I brought it home going, cool. I know he plays 7s, but whatever he does, I'll just transpose it to a 6 and I'll practice the licks because Jeff Loomis has some pretty sick licks, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you ever see these old DVDs where they're like, hey, I'm so-and-so. And then they would just do a thing and they'd be like, welcome to my DVD. I didn't make it past that. It was literally like this. Hey, I'm Jeff Loomis. Pause, and I went and bought a 7-string. Dude, my wife was pissed.
Yeah.
It was that insane. So he's a huge part of my playing for sure. It made me like listen to leads and write smart and servicing the song to like another the evolution of time, right? And just Nevermore was so badass. And then he released records, and you're like, oh my God, what the hell?
Yeah.
So,
Constantly putting out music.
yeah, and the guy's a beast and such a nice guy, man. Like you ever, I mean, I'm Canadian, so the stereotype we have of and forgive me if I get this area wrong. I'm going to ask a geography question. I'm going to be that dumbass right now. Is Wisconsin considered the Midwest? Is that considered the?
I'll probably sound like a dumbass too, because I don't pay attention, man. We'll just say yes.
Like Jeff is from Wisconsin originally, and when you talk to him, within 5 seconds, you're like, wow, what a nice guy from the Midwest. This is like one of those like real, he'd invite you in for like a dinner or something because it's after 5. You know what I mean? Like one of those really rad genuine human beings, not dudes that want something from you. Not trying to do it. It's just, he genuinely like gives a shit if you've eaten. Are you warm enough? Are you? Because like Jeff and I, we were together. He did the lead for us, and then I helped him do some other computer work and some shit and stuff. So I got a chance to actually go to his house and hang out with him, which is just, my inner guitar nerd was losing his mind. And the whole time I'm there, I'm here to work, and I'm like ready to go 20 hours straight. Let's crush this project for you. And the whole time he's like, hey, are you warm enough? Did you get enough to eat? Do you want me to like maybe we can order pizza or something in a little bit? Are you still hungry? I'm like, who are you? You're supposed to be like, man.
Yeah.
It's just so. Yeah, then he inspires me on how you should. I've recently been fortunate enough that I'm starting to get a few endorsements and things right now. Like I just signed with Ernie Ball, who are amazing. I love their products, dude. I have drawers full on my desk here of Ernie Ball stuff. So the fact that they know who I am is amazing to me. But Jeff is my inspiration on how you should talk to your reps of endorsements, because like I got privy to watch him talking on the phone to the guy that runs Jackson Guitars. Same thing. He's like, did you get enough to eat? Are you warm enough? Are you like wow. Yeah. Wow. He's unbelievably cool. But music-wise, sorry, I went off on a tangent there.
That's all right.
The world needs to know that Jeff Loomis is a killer guitar player and a wonderful human being. That needs to be out there in the world, man. Like him and Chris Broderick are straight up Dimebag nice. Like this needs to be known more.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it is. I met Jeff Loomis once when he was on tour with Soil Work, and I met him at the bar before the show. He's like, hey man, how you doing? And like you said, he was very nice. He was, happy to take a picture with me and stuff. I mean, such a kind gentleman.
Yeah, like hilariously kind. Like it's crazy. Like he texted me on my birthday and shit. Like that's like why? Why do you care that it's my birthday?
Because you're friends now. That's why.
That doesn't sound right, dude. Anyway. Yeah. He's a wonderful human. Chris Broderick too. Solemn note, but like about 7 years ago, my dad died, and Chris was calling me to make sure I was okay. Like that shit doesn't happen. Right. And like Chris and I weren't really friends yet. It was just kind of like I knew him and he knew me kind of thing. But like he was genuinely concerned, and that kind of level of humanity at that level of rock stardom, it's unreal. It's unreal. And like it's going to be my devout mission is to tell the world how nice those two human beings are.
Right. But that seems to be, at least for the rock and the metal genre, to where there's so many nice people as opposed to different types of music. Because I've seen other bands to where I mean, I wasn't there to see them on purpose, but there's some venues that play like country music, and I said that I wasn't there to see them because I don't like that music. But some of those band members are like hanging around, but they have this rock star attitude, and I'm like thinking, it's like, dude, you're not like like Clint Black or who else, that type of level, and you're already acting with that type of mentality, which is kind of strange, opposed to metal guys, and it's like down to earth. Yeah, shit, yeah, man, let's take a picture, whatever. Yeah, we'll take a shot with you, whatever. It's totally different.
I can't super speak to that, but like I know the metal dudes are sweethearts. My wife tells the story, like when we started dating, the band was already full swing, so she watches play. And she's like, you were my first experience with metal, like this metal show at this indie underground kind of thing in Abbotsford, where we're from. and she's like, it's crazy. You go in there and you see these guys mohawks and like the vests and big dudes tattoos, like some dudes with the implants doing the things, and like everybody's moshing and stuff. She's like, it's your stereotypical holy shit moment. But then the music stops, and like these huge burly scary dudes are holding doors for me and going, oh, this way. My mom was at the show, and some were like, oh, hello, ma'am, please come this way. And she's like, what the fuck? It's so crazy. Yeah, it's hilarious. We do crazy shit in the pit, but it gets to stay in the pit.
Right.
And even then, you fall over in the pit. Most of them are picking you up after and making sure you're safe, and self-policing if there's like a crowd killer in the thing. Usually the big dude goes, I don't think so, and they deal with it. It's really cool, man. My favorite shit has been when like Corey Taylor is calling people out for sexually assaulting women in the middle of a show, and he like stops the show and goes, asshole, I will command these people to fuck you up. And like that's sick. That is badass. I mean, not violence is not badass. No, let me just, sorry.
Right.
My publicist is gonna have my head here in a minute. But I love that they self-police like that. That's so dope, dude.
Right. Yeah, it's weird. Everybody's expecting, blood rituals and chickens with their head cut off. They're not expecting people to be nice, and they totally are.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's like, not for nothing. I opened a music academy here in town, and I opened it up in Armor. He teaches drums there. I teach guitar there. A couple other teachers and stuff, and we opened with this heavy metal music school idea. And we live in a pretty traditionalist Bible area, so it's been fun. And people are like, I don't know if that's going to work. You know how many people come in there and are stoked? It's so crazy. And all walks of life. Like, I'll never forget talking to this 65-year-old woman about following her dreams of learning drums. And she's decided now that she's retired, she wants to try. And I'm like, absolutely, first lesson free, whatever. Like, talking her whole thing. Tell her about the program. All while Meshuggah's New Millennium Cyanide Christ is playing on the speakers.
Yeah.
And then like it switches over to Cattle Decapitation, or it switches over to like another Meshuggah track, or Iced Earth, or whatever. Because people ask like, what's with the music? I'm like, oh, this is what I listen to in my spare time. So since I opened the place, I want to listen to what I want to listen to.
That's right.
Oh, you don't think it'll cost you business? If this is the reason they're not coming here, you're probably not going to last long anyway.
Right. Yeah, but even so, if they listen to the music and pay attention, musicians have come a long way.
Yeah.
It's not the basic 4/4, whatever. I mean, just like on your album, like your drummer is like, holy shit, some of the stuff he's playing is very impressive. It's not simple stuff where you have to really pay attention to how the hell he's playing that.
And Matt is insane at his dissection and Wikipedia knowledge of bands. Like, it's actually kind of scary. Like, someone should check on him. It's like someone will go, hey, do you remember what Phil Collins did in 1978 live at the Beacon Theater? And he's like, oh, doom, 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 doom. That one? You're like, no, dude, pretty sure that was 79. Just kind of fucking with him a bit. He's like, you're right, because it went do, 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 do. Like, Matt's amazing for that. So like when we were writing the rhythm, I'm a guitar player. I write in like 4/4, 3/4, or whatever, just to get the idea across. And Matt goes, oh, I want to mess with that. And we put in like 7/8, or there's a track on the record called Possessed that actually like changes time signature every few bars, which is on purpose.
Yeah. To keep it interesting.
Want to see if we can do it. Like Meshuggah did it. Let's see if we can do it.
Yeah, for sure.
But
right.
To answer your question, I love Meshuggah. I love Cattle Decapitation. I love Jeff Loomis. I love Broderick.
Got to. I remember listening to Meshuggah. I mean, back like in the early 90s, to wrap your head around the guitars and then the drums, you're like, what the fuck? That's not sounding like music's supposed to sound like. Yeah. What the hell are these guys doing? And they apologize for creating djent or gent music.
I know Healy told me they got validity. Like one of their big breaks was that they got validity from Adam Jones or something.
Oh,
Like
really?
somebody asked Adam Jones in an interview in like the 90s. They were like, "What are you listening to?" He's like, "I'm really into this Swedish band called Meshuggah. You guys should check them out." And it required that level of validity for them to get broken into the North American market. Because I know when I found out about them, they had already been doing it like 20 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys are insanely good at this. Like, have you ever heard that song Catch 33?
Yes.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's mind-boggling to
Man.
try to listen to that. But it's good to thank God we have that.
Yeah, like that's the bar, dude. That's the
Yeah.
bar.
And speaking of bars, I mean, y'all are not to make your head swell up to where you can't fit through the door. I mean, this album really fucking rips, man.
Thanks, dude. But it's igloos up here, not doors.
Okay, all right. So, well, I guess those igloos can kind of get knocked off.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know if you can see, I'm drinking my maple syrup, and got to check on my dogs after this.
Very cool. And the moose in the background. Yeah. Is that where you got the maple syrup?
Yeah. Well, it took me half an hour, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well,
we only got one cow. It takes a long time to milk him.
Yeah. Anything worth doing, you got to do it right.
Oh, man. But I am glad you like the record, dude. Thank you. That's freaking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seriously, I've been playing it like every day, wherever I'm driving, it's on, man. So it's a killer fucking album. So unfortunately, was there any hesitation to release this, considering you can't really tour right now?
I think our management wanted us to wait, but we didn't. Like we've been sitting on the record for about a year before it got announced, right? Like it was done, and we did the process of shopping it, and we got to go through that wonderful, amazing experience, he said sarcastically, where like hundreds of people reject your label or reject your album and tell you you're a shit guitar player or something like that. Like it was not a fun couple months there, buddy.
Oh, man.
Which is like man. And then Nuclear Blast said, "Yo," and we're like, "What? Why?" And they're like, "Well, we'll throw you on our Blood Blast distribution thing." I'm like, "What? Hey, what? Huh?" So, I mean, that was insane, and that right there was like this huge like rebirth boost thing. And we were trying to come up with a release date, and I said, "Screw it, man! Like our fan base has been waiting a while because some people that have been like following us saw the behind the scenes when we were tracking this like a year ago. It seems foolish to make them wait because I think our management wanted us to wait till like April or something."
Oh shit!
I was like, "Nah, man, no, let's put it out now. People want it now. I'm sure. Let's do it now." And so now I think as a band, we were like, "Hell no, zero hesitation. Let's go. The world is what the world is." And we're a weird band too. We don't focus solely on the touring as like a popularity or an income bracket. Like we try to diversify a lot. So getting the album out there was like number one. I got to meet people like you. We got to hang out, become new friends. I'm going to stalk you now too, just so you know.
That's cool.
And this is what we live for, man. We want you guys to hear the music. We want your feedback. We want you to like see the cool album cover done by our buddy Braden, who's just knocked that out of the park.
Yeah.
And
it's as music fans, and I'm sure you can attest too. I mean, if you can't go anywhere to go see a band play, you need music coming in. So when a band releases something, you're like, "Fuck yeah." Let me put this on and fucking listen to it and crack it up.
Yeah, and I think the last time we put out a record was like 2017 or something. So, and even then, that was a late release. So we're lucky enough to have more than one fan. I mean, even having one fan is amazing. I still don't understand that. Signing autographs is still weird. I don't understand how you give a shit about a ginger guy from Abbotsford, but we give a shit about all of you guys so much that we're like, let's put the record out now. Let's do it right now. Oh, it'll be more work because you have to shoot your video. I don't give a shit. One phone call, film crew here. We'll shoot the video.
Yeah.
I don't care. And then of course, like the label, they sent some nice emails. They're very, very happy that we're like working that hard. I was like, well, yeah, like Like, yeah.
Yeah. Here's my soul on this album. Put it out.
Yeah. Here's everything I worked for. And
Yeah.
don't want to shoot a video.
Yeah, I'm done working. I need a break.
Yeah. Man, it'd be hilarious.
Yeah. But I guess that has to be some validity to where Nuclear Blast says, yeah, let's do this.
I guess I don't understand how that works. I don't. So I'm a loser. Like on my phone here, the acceptance email, like the offer or whatever, it's screenshotted on my phone. I'm a loser because I still don't believe that label gives two craps about us. And they're so like, because we deal with Blood Blast, the distribution center, right? And they're so fucking supportive. It's unreal. Like, I always thought that the thing was they sign you to a thing and then they just go, "Now make us money." That's always kind of what I assumed it was.
Yeah.
But like, they sign us and we get like congratulations emails and welcome to the family emails and like, "Hey guys, how are you?" And I'm like, "I'm fine." They're like, "Oh, it's so great. Saw the video. That's really good. Congratulations on the release. It's on Spotify now." You're like, why do you care?
Yeah.
And like, it's so they're more sweethearts. I can't believe how kind they've been. I've had to ask questions because some of this is beyond me with like tracking codes and shit. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I go like this.
Yeah.
So they're so supportive, man. I like that. It's so cool. It's so cool to see that in 2020 because usually all you hear about is the horror stories about getting screwed out of something or
Yes.
or something. I don't know, but not these guys, man. They are all about. I don't be cliche. It's really cliche, but like they're all about the music. That's all they give a shit about. You make a solid product, they want to get it out. That's all they care about. And they're like, "What do you guys need from us to make this happen?" Has only ever been the conversation, and that's amazing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, because you are right. I've talked to other people to where the company has all the rights to their music. They can do whatever they want with it. They'll give you a loan to make the album, but now you owe them before you can get any money whatsoever. And there's just horror stories galore.
Yeah. I've heard as much as like they lend you money and change the interest rate.
Oh shit. That's jacked up.
I've heard crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. But
yeah.
I mean, lawyer. Everyone, I don't know who's listening to this. Get a lawyer. If you're offered any record contract, we got one. Get a lawyer.
Yeah.
It's the best $1,000 or whatever you'll ever spend. It's the best.
Yeah, for sure. Now, considering the course can't tour or anything like that, is there any possibility of maybe doing a stream like a few songs online when the album releases?
Yeah, we're talking about that right now. I know we're going to be doing something, streaming something, PR something. I don't know. We at this point we do what our publicist tells us to do because he's kind of scary. He yells a lot.
Good to know.
We're talking about it. I mean, we're fortunate that in our rehearsal space is a really decent Wi-Fi signal and stuff. So all of this is possible to us. We're just gonna figure out what's what and how we're gonna get it done because we're about giving you guys value too, right? We want to do it right, not just like an iPhone shooting something, but like
right.
We got some few. We do have something else coming down the pipe that like everybody watch out for because it's pretty great. I can tell you off air later. I can tell you when we're done. Like,
cool.
It's pretty sick, man.
Very cool.
Fun.
Hell yeah. Has there been any plans? I mean, I know we got this freaking COVID going on, but is there any outlook of maybe playing any type of festivals sometime next year, summer?
I know like the second we got Welcome to the Blood Blast family, there's a lot of like tour offers that got thrown at us. We chose as a band to say no at this time because we just didn't think it was safe. But there was like a lot of European options. So it sounds like the thing that Blood Blast and NB wants us to do is head to Europe. We have dreams as a band from a small town that always wanted to do States. That's been our like, oh my God, do we get a chance to do this? We want to come to Corpus Christi, buddy. We want to do it. Like for me, playing in New Orleans or Nolans, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
I want to play there. I want to play in Texas, and I want to do like 5 shows in Texas. I want to go play Vamps in Las Vegas. I want to play New York City. I want to play like we have all these dreams of like I made it because
Yeah.
I'm playing New York City, you know, and it could be a shithole dive bar in Austin. I don't give a fuck, buddy. I'm
Yeah.
playing in Austin, Texas. I'm playing music that I wrote with my 3 friends, and now we're in freaking Texas. Like this
Yeah.
is insane, insane.
And you got
Going to Europe. Going to Europe would be also just like ludicrous,
right, for sure. And I think from what I've seen from other bands, whether they're based in Europe, but well, I guess the ones I've noticed is they are starting to play at some venues. Of course, I think like 50% capacity, and so far seems like it's been successful for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to watch the bigger bands like Arch Enemy and Meshuggah and see what they're doing. It's kind of been like my barometer, so to speak. And I have friends that are from around here that play in some bands that tour over there all the time, and just waiting to see kind of what they're doing and what their advice is on it. Because I mean, man, this thing is nuts right now. It is so crazy, and I think it's just best to be safe in every single stretch of the imagination.
Right. Don't rush it if you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, kind of almost close to wrapping it up. Is there anything that fans? I mean, I've seen it. They can pre-order some stuff, but are you going to have any type of special bundles to where, like you mentioned, some people want their stuff autographed? Is there anything going to be up on your site?
Yeah, there is right now. If you head to withoutmercyband.com, there's quite a few different bundles available, including getting the shit autographed. We have some cool hoodies and exclusive shirts that are available only in the bundle. And I print all the stuff myself, guys. I have a great hookup with a merchandise company. So you're supporting the band directly when you order from the band site. So withoutmercyband.com, and tell us Renee sent you, and we'll hook you up.
Yeah. Add another 10% on it.
There you go. 20% for good looks, bro.
All right. Even better. All right, DJ, I guess we can start wrapping it up. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about to promote for the band, or any parting words for, fans that are hopefully start, chanting your name and fucking ripping that album?
I still can't believe any of you exist, so this is really rad. Come follow us on social media. It's a blast. We post hilarious memes and stuff. But come see us on Instagram, Without Mercy Band, and just come say, hey, guys, order a pre-order package, listen to the album, tag us when you get the album, dance like me. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's just, we're so grateful all of you exist, so we're going to keep doing our thing if you guys are still into it.
Awesome. Well, DJ, man, I really appreciate your time. It was a hell of a fun interview. I mean, I really appreciate it.
Hell yeah, buddy. New best friends.
Hell yeah. Come to Texas, man.
Oh, you know it. You know it.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, and if you make it to Dallas, then we can go visit Dime and Vinny, dude.
Oh, do you see my rubber arm twisting? Twist my rubber arm.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, again, thanks again. You have a good day, and I appreciate it. And keep in touch, man.
Absolutely, buddy. Have a killer day wherever you are doing what you're doing.
Thanks. Take care.